Hello, Ambush, and welcome to this episode of the Desert Tiger Podcast. Here with me, your host of the DTP. My name is Colton G, and today we're joined by Nicole Simone as we talk her brand new web series, On a List. Yes, some of you may know Nicole for her time in the musical realm under the moniker Late July. Well, now it's time that the paws get put in a different pond, per se, as Nicole is not only writing, helping to direct and produce, but also starring in this web series that as of right now is 3 episodes deep. I crushed all 3 back to back to back. I have loved them so far. I can't wait for more. That's not what's important. What's important is we're diving into what inspired On a List and how it all has come together. We're going to be talking about the dynamic between Nicole and her co-star James Darsh as they portray the characters Olivia and Harry as they become incredibly vulnerable. And it's all set to a soundtrack. The vibe is all put in motion from Late July as well. So we're going to talk about going through Nicole's catalog and music and picking the right songs to represent the mood, the vibe of the show. We're also going to be talking about some of Nicole's new music with songs like Echoes and an upcoming EP entitled Oceania. Not only just this, we're also diving into Nicole's work with Redemption Paws, which has saved over 500 at-risk dogs in 2020 alone. All of this and more in this conversation with Nicole Simone with Late July. And it's all brought to you today by DesertTigerMerch.com, where you can go to cop yourself something to represent the Desert Tiger Podcast everywhere that you go. That is DesertTigerMerch.com. And now it's time to get the vibe right before this conversation with Nicole. And the best way to do that is with one of her new singles that you're going to be hearing about today. This is Echoes.
This couldn't last. It was hard and clear. Couldn't stay here. The candles we burned are all out. It's in the past. Where you left me bare. Could have been anywhere but here. I am not the witch who conjured this, but I'm not saying prayers balanced and fair. You choose that. Can we get on with it? Echoes, echoes, echoes.
Desert Tiger Podcast.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Colton. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you, Nicole?
Good. Where are you in the world?
I'm located out of Kamloops, British Columbia currently.
Very cool.
Yes, yes. Where are you?
In Toronto.
Ooh, the big old city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice. And how's TO treating you?
We're, in lockdown.
Seems to be the case mostly everywhere in Canada here.
In lockdown. It's snowy, it's cold, and a lot of time to work and watch old movies.
It's the perfect season for old movies. You get yourself a good, nice, warm drink and get nice and cozy.
Yeah, exactly. I got the Criterion channel, so I'm just like catching up on all the movies that I feel guilty I haven't seen. So it's been good.
I know how that list of movies you haven't seen goes, so.
Yeah, no, it's catching up on. I watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid that last night, and I had not seen it before, so I got to check that off my list.
Okay, well, now I'm embarrassed because I haven't seen it, so.
For shame. No, there's lots of movies, a lot of Western. I'm on like a Western kick right now. I watched Paris, Texas, and some other films. But yeah, no, it's been good.
Nice, nice. I'm glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that.
Hmm.
Awesome. So we're connecting today to talk a little bit of music, a little bit about On a List as well.
Hmm.
Sounds like you've been keeping busy, be very creative, inspired.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to for me to stay creative and stay in motion some way through the pandemic and before. I think the pandemic didn't really change a whole lot for me. It just brought a couple of new challenges. But looking back, I was on my Wikipedia page the other day and I was like, wow, I've put out a lot of stuff this year.
Well, it's sometimes we have to adapt and overcome, and you definitely sounds like you've been doing that throughout a very challenging year to do so.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, all right. So you ready to jump on into it?
Yeah.
Cool, let's do it. So first off, I want to start with On a List because where was the idea of this show, this web series, born? What was it like to create this? Because I crushed all three of these episodes like immediately back to back to back, and I loved it, so I need to know.
I had a list on my phone that I had just haphazardly put together just coming out of a really bad relationship to be like, how do I not get into that situation again? And like, how do we fast track this? Because I'm getting older and my patience is wearing thin. And so I kind of thought about that. And then somebody I was dating, we were talking about, he's an actor, and we were talking about a project together, and I came up with this idea, and he really liked it. And then the pandemic happened, and then we were no longer working together, and I just was like, I just want to make this, I've always been very interested in film and television. Everyone has always been, everyone always assumes I'm an actress, but, my background is music. I've produced a lot of music videos. So I just thought, like, why not? So I called up some film friends. I wrote the script, and I was just like threw caution to the wind and just made it.
Wow. So do you have much for like acting experience in theater or like even studying prior to this?
None, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. I was just really into it. And I'm a very big fan of Mike Mills and Drake Doremus. I don't know if you're familiar with his films. He did a movie called Like Crazy, Ending to Beginnings. And about half of his script is kind of improvised, and I think he made Like Crazy on like a DSLR, and that just really inspired me to think that you can just go out and do it and you can get in the moment. And so no acting experience or any experience with any of this stuff, and I just really wanted to put myself out of my comfort zone. I definitely had a couple of like moments where I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to look like an idiot. But I always find those times in life when I feel like I'm doing something stupid and I'm being an idiot because I'm new at something is usually the time where I'm actually growing and developing a new skill set.
Well, sometimes you have to challenge yourself in order to learn, right?
I think so, and I'm definitely one of those people that learns by doing. I don't think acting classes would have stuck the same way or had the same experience as as making my own web series.
Okay, okay. So this list is born out of a list you had created yourself.
Yeah, it was a list I created myself and then added things to it that some of the things I would never do. But yeah, I just kind of created, what are those things that are going to make somebody really vulnerable? Like I think, getting drunk and interviewing each other and asking each other really personal questions, or, just jumping off the bat and posting photos of each other on social media and seeing what happens. Like those are kind of modern day vulnerability exercises.
Definitely. And I do love the show's message of vulnerability because in the social media age and the dating age, especially where we have apps and, like I said, social media, it's a lot of people can, produce their content, make sure that they're showing their best face to the world. So sometimes you don't really get that vulnerability right off the bat.
Yeah, I think people want to show their best side. I want to show my best side all the time. And I think in terms of dating, if you do that, you're really hindering yourself and potentially putting yourself in toxic or bad relationships. So these things are just kind of ideas that I came up with, like that are kind of, them are a bit crazy. Some of them are not so much. But it's a way to make people emotionally available. And as the series goes on, you'll kind of see it become less snarky and cheeky, and you'll see Olivia and Harry really get vulnerable and talk about, how they feel about different things. I don't want to spoil anything because the new episodes aren't out yet, but yeah.
Of course, we're only 3 episodes deep so far, but I want to know what it was like to finally have that moment of that first episode, to finally, you've already stepped into this world, but now you're releasing it out into the world, onto YouTube, for pretty much everybody to be able to find and see. So what was it like to finally allow this child in this new world outside of music out?
It was really exciting. I think like honestly, the most nerve-wracking part of the whole experience was rehearsing for the first time. That was the scariest for me. I thought I was going to throw up. And it's just me, that the whole cast, with the exception of the first episode where there's like a small group of extras, it's just me and James Starsh. But, having people finally see it, I haven't shown it to my friends and my family, but my fans really like it. Really, the thing that people comment the most is the chemistry between the characters on screen, which I think is just because we were just genuinely having fun while we were filming.
And that's one thing that I also definitely really enjoyed is you can see, like, even if you're nervous, you can't even tell that you're nervous with this being your first acting experience because the chemistry inside of this dynamic between you and your co-star, James Darsh, is just so dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have found a better person for the role. It was one of those, if you believe in manifestation, he just, trying to find a good actor who was British, because that's what the role was written as, during a pandemic, and who wanted to work with somebody who had no acting, producing, directing, or writing experience in film seemed like a long shot. But I found James and we started working together, and it just worked out really well.
Wow, like you said, manifestation, almost like it was meant to be because all of these reasons as to why it shouldn't work out, but all these pieces fall into place.
I wasn't going to do the show if I didn't find the right person to play Harry. I didn't want somebody pretending to be British. I didn't want somebody who was rigid or really, sometimes actors can be very focused on their lines rather than like being present. So I was once I had James attached to the project, then I was like, oh wow, it's on, like we're doing this.
Awesome, awesome. So then that kicks it into high gear, and you've got the chemistry there. And then, of course, you have a little bit of a soundtrack from your musical project, Late July,
Mhm.
with this show on a list. So, what was it like, and how do you go through picking through some of your catalog, both from the beginning of your musical career to some of your latest singles to craft the vibe?
Yeah, I mean, aesthetic and vibe is really important to me. I'm a Libra rising, so I really, uh, everything has to kind of sound and feel alike. It was just, I have about 10 years worth of music, so it's been kind of fun. An episode one, I think, starts off with a song that came out in 2011. Episode two starts out with a song that came out this summer. So it's really cool. I don't think people listening or watching the show realize that all the music is me. And I did worry that I was going to come off as the director for The Room, where it was just like everything is by me on the show. But I think it's kind of cool to have the opportunity to do that. And definitely, like, my fans know it's my music, and some of them are like, wow, I haven't heard that song in years. And um, I'd imagine that there's going to be some unreleased music on the future episodes as well, as I continue to finish up songs.
All right, all right. So continue to working through it as well, continuing to craft.
Mhm.
So you can maybe even continue to add more to a vibe and this energy behind the show.
Mhm, mhm.
Awesome, awesome. So one of the tracks that I picked up in the first episode playing in the background of the bar is one of your latest singles, Echoes. So please take us behind Echoes. What does it mean to you?
Echoes was written pretty much when I got off the plane from Los Angeles. I was in LA and in March, and I quickly realized things were about to get very serious. So I decided to come back to Canada and broke up with the guy I was seeing and had no idea what was next, other than I was in like a 3-week quarantine. And so I just this song of kind of, everything just carrying on regardless of what was happening, and just kind of not giving up, but maybe surrendering to the unknown.
Okay, I can definitely understand that, especially if you're sort of trapped at home, let's say, for sure.
Yeah, with the pandemic, I think people naturally have a desire for certainty. And this year of all years, there's been so much uncertainty. And I think that song to me is like a little personal anthem of just, the past is the past, and you just have to carry on with what's happening now. And kind of, I mean, it is a love song in a way, just, looking at the lyrics, just, a lot of imagery of LA, canyons and stuff like that. But yeah, just, the red hair is in the dawn. It's just kind of, it's a new day. It's a new life. Move on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. It's definitely a love song too. 'Cause sometimes you have to love yourself. Sometimes you have to love you and the other person enough to know when it's time to let things go. Relationships are it's a beautiful magic.
It is definitely, relationships are the things that we think about on our deathbed. We don't think about our Instagram accounts or our bank accounts. We think about the people that have come and gone in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the memories that we were able to create with those people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what echoes on. So
Ooh, ooh, all right. I like that. I like that. Awesome. Okay, so as the series has progressed, you've been releasing some singles the day before episodes of On a List have been releasing. So is this something that you plan to continue to do
no,
through the rest of season one? No.
no, there was an album that I had pulled off of Spotify, and I was working with Mike Donis, who's my editor for the show, and he's just like, this song, like, doesn't work. We need another song. And so I just kind of rifled through my collection, and I found the song, and then I realized, oh, the song isn't actually made publicly available. It was a song called What's Left that was recorded in 2011. So I just quickly published it on all the, Spotify and digital streaming services so that when they came out with the episode, it would be available. And people really liked it. So I think that's, it'd be lovely and intelligent for me to say that that was planned, but it wasn't. But it's certainly something that I might do in the future. I'm not so great at planning in advance. I'm very in the moment, improvise.
No worries, no worries. Sometimes you need those moments of just going for it, right? It's not everything can be planned out and done step by step, because all of our best laid plans usually don't end up working out the way that we think they will.
Nope. What did John Lennon say? Life's what happens when you're making plans.
Drown yourself in liquor and I'll hang myself with words. And while we're lying here restless, I am listening to the birds and the people out your window on your busy city street. What I came here to tell you, all it turned to concrete. And you said, if this is what you want, then this is what you get. We hit a wall, and what's left is left. No need to forgive me, you don't have to be so kind. This is all behind us. I could write you forever, but my words would get lost. Yeah, I fought you, I loved you with all my fingers crossed. And your hands are my hands, but I can't feel your touch. So I'm falling out of windows, 'cause I ain't feeling much. And you said, if this is what you want, then this is what you get. We hit a wall, and what's left is left. No need to forgive me, you don't have to be so kind. This is all behind us. I rushed to the door, I couldn't figure out the lock. Yeah, so pretty, so petty, I'm the one who's taking stock of all the times I knifed you and I barely missed your heart. I won't hear from you again, so I am granting this new start. And you said, if this is what you want, then this is what you get. We hit a wall, and what's left is left. No need to forgive me, you don't have to be so kind. This is all behind us.
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Okay, so with saying that What's Left was a song that was pulled from another catalog, with the most recent one on December 9th, Please Come Home Under the Christmas Tree, is it the same situation with that track as well?
Similar but different. That was a Christmas song I wrote with Matthew Sweeney. He's in a band called the Elwins, and we wrote that together in 2012, I want to say. And I'd recorded it and just kind of put it on Bandcamp as like a lo-fi thing, and then I was like, I should put out a Christmas song, and and I just quickly asked Guillermo Sebaste to help me put together a piano track, and I just put down the vocals, and so I re-recorded it because it's such a sad song. It's such a lonely song, and I think it's so apropos for many of us who are spending Christmas alone or in isolation because of the pandemic. So I just put it out, and then I found a old photo of me. I grew up in Southern California, and I very much miss Christmas in California. And I just took that photo and made it the single cover and put it out.
Okay, awesome. So is Christmas a very big thing for you in your life? And do you have any favorite Christmas memories or movies or anything of that sort?
I am definitely a Christmas person. I'm a Halloween person first by nature, Christmas person second. I love all the lights. Actually, that's probably my favorite thing about Christmas. My best Christmas memories are in Del Mar, where I used to live as a kid. We would do our Christmas photos on the beach. It was great Christmas morning, getting to play with your toys, being able to go outside. I was definitely the kid that just did not sleep Christmas night. And being Sicilian, we have like a lot of Italian traditions. So we make a special type of Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve. And I definitely miss a lot of spending Christmas with a lot of my Italian relatives in San Diego. A lot of them have since passed on, but carrying on tradition with the current family.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're keeping the spirit and the traditions alive and well.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. So with two of these last singles being sort of things from the past that are being brought back up, what does the future hold for you in terms of music then?
I have a bunch of songs that I need to do vocals for, and I'm going to be releasing those new songs on a album called Oceania that's coming out this winter. I'm just nailing down a release date, but just working with Devin Hoare, who's my trumpet player. He plays on a lot of my tracks. Sasha, who's my guitarist, and just kind of collaborating. We haven't been able to play together since, I would say, November or December, probably a year. We haven't been able to play as a band. But, working on new music, it's kind of like a process of working on finishing songs that I've written in the last year and a half. And then I would like to take some time to actually start writing new material, but I'm either in a production phase or a writing phase. I never really cross-pollinate between the two. But I do hope that this winter, I'm going to do it, just start writing new songs because I just like writing songs. And I don't even know how many songs I've put out at this point, but we're getting into like the 30s in terms of volumes of songs that I've released. So.
I know that you're on a streak of about 13 singles right now, so doing pretty dang good, and that's just 2019, 2020 here.
Oh wow! Yeah, I don't take count. I'm still a bit shy about putting out music in terms of promoting it. It's something I'm still not 100% comfortable doing, but people, catch up to what I'm doing. They're either, interested in the show or interested in me for music, or they know me for my hair, or they know me for my painting or for the dog charity work I do. So, but it just kind of loops. One of those things will loop people into all the other things I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with a title like Oceania, is that because you're a Libra, or just because you're a very big water person, all of these things combined?
Well, I'm a Pisces sun, Pisces moon, Libra rising. So yeah, I'm definitely a water person. But I have always been bi-coastal. I grew up between Toronto and Diego. And you've never heard the term bi-coastal before?
I have not heard that before.
Hmm. I am bi-coastal. My half of my family are from an island, Sicily. So I think it's just and the other half are UK, which are islands. So I just think it makes sense for me to be just a very coastal type person. But definitely since February 2019, up until the pandemic, I was going between LA and Toronto. And it was just the dichotomy of being, you know, in the winter in front of like frozen Lake Ontario. And then the next week I would be at Venice Beach and just kind of like going between and, really trying to find, I don't want to say find my place, but certainly just find where I was happiest.
Absolutely. And sometimes a heart must travel in order to find where it belongs, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's very healthy to do a lot of traveling in order to kind of see the world and just acknowledge that we're all global citizens at the end of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes you just have to do your best to help out, like you are with your dog charity.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I saw that in 2020, in a very difficult year, you still managed to save 500
No more.
dogs.
Yeah, I have 90 dogs coming in the next couple of days, particularly from areas that have been very hard hit by COVID. And I have a wonderful team of people that I work with, a wonderful team of volunteers and supporters that make what Redemption Paws does possible. But there's definitely been moments this year where I thought I was going to have to throw in the towel. And I'm glad I haven't, because there's a lot of wonderful dogs we get to save, and it's wonderful to see the impact that these dogs have on people's lives.
Well, not only the change in the lives that you're bringing to the people the dogs are going to, but the dogs themselves. That's a pretty incredible thing for you to be able to do, and I'm glad that you didn't throw in the towel.
Yeah, it was definitely it's been a challenging year, but I did not decide to close the charity. I knew that the pandemic was not going to be a 2-day thing or a 2-week thing, as some people had thought. And it's really sad that we have these animals that really are the only animals that give humans unconditional love, and many parts of the world just treat them like garbage. And it's just really rewarding. Just before I got on this call, I tagged, I got a dog into the rescue who's severely broken legs, severely traumatized and beaten. And it's such a privilege to be able to have that, I wouldn't say power, but have that ability to, make a call, pull him off death row, get him into a vet clinic and get him the care he needs. And hopefully we'll get him into a home if he's stable enough. But it is quite a privilege to do what I do, but it's certainly not without its tumultuous times.
Oh, and I can only imagine that it can be hard on the heart and everything else, but you do it because you love it. You do it because you want to make a difference.
Yeah, that's really it. I don't like to showboat about it. It's genuine work, and when people are doing it for the right reasons, the results are really beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So you've mentioned how 2020 was a challenge in terms of Redemption Paws. So, but I want to know, so between the music and on a list as well, what has it been like to navigate with release dates and getting everything together and filming and all of those fun things?
I think it's I think it's been a coping mechanism and almost a trauma response to everything that's happened, to just kind of keep going and keep creating. And just, it's been overwhelming because there would be days where I will be doing the dog charity work and, dealing with some pretty heavy stuff. And then I'm expected to be on set producing, acting, and going over script notes and all of that. And definitely there were some times where I was just like really, really flustered. But I think everything is the people you surround yourself with. I got to, definitely working with James Darsh was great because I could get to set and he would pull me into character and keep me present and kind of just be like, okay, all that stuff doesn't matter right now. Like, we're here, let's have fun. And that was great. And then same with the dog rescue, just having people that at the organization who are always ready to, help out and fix a situation has been good. People give me a lot of credit, but I certainly could not do what I do on my own by myself. I am not an island.
Hmm. Absolutely. And that is fair. Nobody is an island. So it's all about the teams that we build around us that really help us thrive and grow and be able to reach out and continue to put so many coals in the fire.
Definitely. I think that the relationships in your life, whether family, personal, or romantic, can make or break you, or make or break your career in a lot of ways. And as I always say, that if you're feeling depressed, make sure that you're not surrounded by jerks, because you are kind of the sum of who you spend your time with and who you invest your time with, professionally and personally. So I'm very cognizant of that and very particular about who I work with and who I spend my time with. And I spend a lot of time alone at the end of the day too with my dog. She's great. And I'm happy. I'm quite happy with that. So.
Well, and they say that if you want to see the type of person you'll become, show me the top 5 people you hang out with.
That's true. I think that's very true. And I think there's also just the need to understand that not everyone who comes in your life is meant to stay in your life, but that doesn't devalue the experiences you have with them. And I know people struggle with that a lot with, dating and relationships. You could have a really great relationship with somebody for 6 months and they ghost you, and that's terrible. But you kind of have to look at the time and experiences you have with people rather than the actual, duration of things, and just kind of, value that as you grow, people will come and go, and that's just a part of life. Everything. What is the Buddhist saying? Life's greatest joke is impermanence. Like, nothing stays the same. So I think that's something that people have struggled with this year, because nothing has stayed the same. Everything changes day to day with the pandemic and what's going on. So it's a good lesson for everyone.
Yes, a very good lesson. It's nice to be comfortable, but you can't stay comfortable forever.
Exactly. I think you do have to step out of your comfort zone. And certainly as somebody who's 35 and starting acting and writing and producing is hugely out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad I did it. But I just think that, you always feel like you're starting too late. I remember like starting music when I was 13 and feeling like it was too late. Like I was like, I should have been writing songs when I was 6 years old, like some of these proteges. You just realize that's just time. You're always going to be behind. So you just kind of have to seize the moment and do what moves you and inspires you.
Exactly. It doesn't matter when you start. It's just the fact that you started and you got that ball rolling.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if I do a season 2 of On a List. Working on a new project. I'd like to do a feature film, and new music, and just see what the future holds, and just kind of keep creating and reminding myself that it's a privilege to be able to go out and make film and music and rescue dogs. And I think coming from that point of gratitude is really important.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. It helps you stay grounded as you continue to go out into the world and not only show off your creativity, the things that you have helped craft to not only help yourself, but to also help other people, but also just the other work that you're doing in general, which is very incredible.
Thank you. I think there's a lot of great people in the world, and they don't get enough credit. We put so much emphasis on the negative that we forget how much good does get done in the world by people just choosing to do better.
Hey, and sometimes you just have to do some good and get out there and make the difference that you want to see.
Exactly. Be the change you want to see in the world. And I feel like that's very much the life I've led so far. And hopefully I can continue doing that.
All right. Well, I'm excited to continue to see where that journey takes you. Nicole, thank you so much for joining me here today to take us behind this journey with On a List, your new music, Redemption Paws, everything that you have going on.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. You're a wonderful interview.
Ambush. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation with Nicole Simone with Late July as we talked about her evolution into the world of film with her new miniseries On a List, which you can find right now over at YouTube. Go over there in your search bar, type in On a List. Check out all of the available episodes. Hit subscribe so that when the rest of season 1 drops, you have it in your notifications. While you're at it, you might as well head to Spotify, find Late July, and hit follow over there as well, so that when Nicole drops this upcoming EP, Oceania, you can have it in your notifications, in your hands, and in your ears. ASAP. And if you're in the market for a dog, why not go ahead and check out Redemption Paws. Alright, it's time for our roaring DTP thank yous for this episode. And the first one of those goes out to the wonderful Nicole Simone for joining us here today. And who do I have to thank for setting it up? Well, a big roaring thank you to Amanda over at Vocab Communications for hooking this interview up. And last but not least, a roaring DTP thank you to you, the loyal, dedicated Ambush, for tuning into the Desert Tiger podcast like you love to, for repping the show. If you have yet to join up with the AM, it's so simple, it's so easy. It's as easy as hitting subscribe on the podcast listening service you're using right now. You can also help the show grow by giving us a 5-star review. You can share this episode on your social media with your friends, your family, or anyone who you think would enjoy the DTP or Nicole Simone. And of course, you can also head on over to deserttigermerch.com and copy yourself something to represent the show everywhere you go with style and class. Yes, yes. Alright, coming up next Tuesday on the Desert Tiger podcast, we are joined by Kalindo, yes, the long-time guitarist for one Janelle Monáe. Has branched out into a solo project, and we're going to be diving into it here next Tuesday on the Desert Tiger podcast. And then, of course, we're going to be taking Christmas off because that lands next Friday. But I hope that you're all going to be staying jolly, doing whatever holiday celebrations you do or don't do. Whatever it is, you do you. All right. Now it's about time that we let you go, but before we do that, we have one thing to say, and those of you who are part of the AM know what it is. I want you to go out and chase your dreams. Find your mountaintop, find your oasis, whatever the thing is that makes your heart sing and scream to its fullest capacity and glory. Go out there, find that thing, craft that thing, grow with that thing, and when your roar is finally ready to let out amongst the world, let us hear just how wonderful, how beautiful your roar is, how powerful, just how wonderful and beautiful you are too, because deep down, yes, you are. All right, y'all, it's about that time. that I let you go, that we say bye-bye, that you go and crush all of the available episodes of On a List. And until next episode, bye-bye. 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 Bye. Do you get it? That's an echo. Yeah, I know, it's a terrible joke. All right, bye.